Hi, Shalom, and welcome back to Who Knew It Was Jewish? We are on episode 142, and today's topic is Mad Magazine. Harvey Kurtzman was born on October 3rd, 1924, in Brooklyn, New York, to Jewish parents. After his father's death in 1928, the family was in such desperate financial straits that their mother placed the Kurtzman brothers in an orphanage for 3 months until she secured work as a milliner, a hat maker. Several months later, Edith remarried to Russian Jewish immigrant Abram Perks. Perks was a trade unionist and brought young Kurtzman to work, encouraging him to help with design and drawing, to think of himself as a professional artist. From a very young age, he displayed artistic talent early, and his sidewalk chalk drawings drew the attention of children and adults who gathered around to watch him draw. His mother encouraged his artistic development and enrolled him in art lessons on Saturdays. He took the subway to Manhattan for formal education and instruction. He found Will Eisner's comic book The Spirit of Standard, by which other comic books would be measured, and called Eisner the greatest virtuoso, cartoonist of a kind who had never been seen before. Eisner's page layouts had considerable influence on Kurtzman's work. At 14, Kurtzman won a cartooning contest for which he received $1 and had his cartoon published in Tip Top Comics number 36 of April 13, 1939. After winning the annual John Wanamaker art contest, Kurtzman received a scholarship to attend high school at the High School of Music and Art. Kurtzman graduated at 16 in 1941 and went on to Cooper Union on a scholarship. Kurtzman left a year later to focus on making comic books. He continued to do odd jobs in 1942 until he got his first break in the comics industry at Louis Furstad's studio, which produced comics for Quality, Ace, Gilbertron, and The Daily Worker. After being drafted for service in World War II, he illustrated instruction manuals, posters, and flyers, and contributed cartoons and camp newspapers and newsletters. After his discharge following the war, Kurtzman found competition fierce in the comics industry as freelancing replaced the system of packaging shops. It was Stan Lee who offered Kurtzman work doing one-page fillers, work that paid little. Lee named the strip Hey Look, and Kurtzman produced 150 episodes of it from 1946 until 1949. It was in the early 1950s when Kurtzman brought some samples of educational comics into the EC comic offices. The EC had originally stood for Educational Comics when it was run by Max Gaines, but his son Bill changed the company's focus and name to Entertainment Comics when he inherited the business. William Bill Gaines was born March 1st, 1922 in New York City, New York, to Jewish parents. Gaines liked Kurtzman's Hey Look samples, but had no immediate use for his particular skills. Gaines directed Kurtzman to his brother, David, who gave him some low-paying work on Lucky Fights It Through, a two-fisted cowboy story with an educational health message about syphilis. Remembering Kurtzman's humor work from the 1940s, Gaines proposed a humor magazine to increase Kurtzman's income, as he believed he would take far less time and effort to research. Mad debuted in August 1952, and Kurtzman scripted every story in the first 23 issues. The stories in Mad targeted what Kurtzman saw as really fundamental untruths in the subjects of parodied, inspired by the irreverent humor found in college humor magazines. They were developed in the same incremental way that Kurtzman had developed for the war stories, and his layouts were followed faithfully by artists who drew them, most frequently Will Elder, Jack Davis, and Wally Wood. Mad Magazine did not have instant success, but found its audience by the fourth issue, which quickly sold out. Parroting specific targets became a huge staple of Mad Magazine. First it was Superman and Captain Marvel, then it was Batman and Robin. Elsewhere, the one-time cartoonist Hugh Hefner had become a media mogul by the 1950s with his Playboy magazine. He had admired Kurtzman's Mad Magazine and met Kurtzman in New York to express his appreciation. He told Kurtzman that if he ever were to leave Mad, a place would be waiting for him in the Hefner empire. With this promise to back him, Kurtzman demanded legal control of Mad Magazine from Gaines in the form of stocks. Reluctant to lose the editor of his sole remaining publication, Gaines offered a 10% share. As this would not give Kurtzman the control of what he wanted, Kurtzman countered with a demand for 51%. Gaines refused, and the two parted ways. Kurtzman did then contact Hefner, and Gaines went on to hire Al Feldstein, also Jewish, to edit Mad Magazine. Mad publishes satire of all aspects on life and popular culture, politics, entertainment, and of course public figures. Its format includes TV and movie parodies and satire articles about everyday occurrences that are changed to seem humorous. From 1952 to 2018, Mad published 550 regular magazine issues, as well as scores of reprint specials, original material paperbacks, reprint compilation books, and other print projects. DC Comics officially took over Mad Magazine in 2018 and has been running it ever since. After AT&T merged with the DC's then owner Time Warner in 2018 of June, Mad distribution contributed and continued into comic book stores and via subscriptions. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to tune in next week for a new episode. And of course, don't forget, we have merch. So if you'd like to support the series, please visit whoknewitwasjewish.threadless.com, or of course you can click the link on any of the socials for my personal social medias, or for of course the Who Knew It Was Jewish social medias to get the link. We have some wonderful, of course, apparel, as well as some terrific accessories as well. Thank you again so much for joining me for today's episode, and I will see you all next week.